Hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Bucket with Jo. Hey, good morning, everyone. Jo here at SportsGrid. It's time for Puckett with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV on X. You guys, we got a loaded slate out there on the ice, and I hope you guys made some freaking money yesterday with the Florida Panthers in the first period. That's exactly what we needed to see. The Panthers coming up strong in the first period, and then the Flyers fighting their way back to get the win. I know some people got that up plus 1,000 for them to come back, so congratulations to anyone who did that. Now, looking at today's slate, those Florida Panthers are back in action today versus the New Jersey Devils. And it was interesting to see. They did start Bobrovsky last night, so we will have Spencer Knight in net tonight, but we're going to get into that game, into all of these games. Timothy, thank you so much. Let's make some freaking money, you guys. We're going to kick it off with the Philadelphia Flyers, who were able to get a nice win in their last four. They've won their last four. They're off that win last night. So they've been playing nice and strong. Now we have here the Columbus Blue Jackets coming in here winning their last four. Sorry, it's 2 wins for the Flyers, 4 wins for the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's where I was looking with those. So looking at odds in this matchup, we have the Flyers coming in at minus 113. So slight favorite on their second night of a back-to-back. Minus 105 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Sign me up, you guys. Looking at Columbus and looking at how strong they are at home, I do think they should be able to get this win tonight. And at minus 105, I'm willing to bite. Now, this has a total of 6.5, and we are having to lay a little bit of juice to the over. I'm going to go to the over in this one. It's minus 115, and I don't mind that price. I do think with the Flyers on the second night of back-to-back, backup goaltender in, we will see Columbus hit 4 goals in this matchup. So can we count on the Flyers for 3? I do think so. This team will be rolling in with confidence after what they were able to do last night, winning that game 4-3 over the Florida Panthers. So I'm looking for both of these teams to come out nice and strong. Now, if you want to look at the first period here, I would lean on Columbus. Columbus at home in the first period. They've been able to win the last 4 first periods versus a Metro opponent, and we have the Flyers sitting 8th in the Metro here. We have the Columbus Blue Jackets sitting 4th. So battle of the Metro, expect them to come out nice and hot straight out of the gate. Elvis tonight in net for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, no real look ahead here. We have the Sharks on deck on Thursday for Columbus. And then looking at what we're seeing here for the Philadelphia Flyers. This is the first night out there on the road. They've got a 3-game road trip. That the Isles on Thursday and the Devils on a Saturday. So hard way to start a road trip here versus a team that they've struggled against. They've only won 6 of the last 22 meetings in Columbus as well. So not a good situation for the Flyers, but they were able to get that big win. And when we look at them overall versus Columbus, yeah, those numbers are great, just not in Columbus. They've won 6 of the last 8 meetings versus Columbus, but majority of those have been at home. Now, if you're looking for a goal scorer here, for the Philadelphia Flyers, Morgan Frost has been great. He's been really stepping up. He's scored at least a goal in the last 3 games here for the Flyers. So he has been stepping up nice and big. I would look at him, and I would just look for this one to go over that total. So you guys, great game here with this one. The next game we're going to break down is the Dallas Stars. Now, the Dallas Stars taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And looking at this price, right, this is odd. Toronto, normally a favorite here at home. We're getting them at minus 105, and it feels like the books are begging us to take the Toronto Maple Leafs. Maybe they are. We got the Dallas Stars at minus 115, a total of 5.5, minus 122 to the over, which is surprising because we look at Joseph Wall. He's off a bad game. Like, you can't deny how bad his last game was. He allowed 5 goals on 33 shots on goal, I believe it was. So he needs that bounce back. You've got Dallas in here with Jake Ottinger. Jake Ottinger, we know how strong he is. I tend to lean to this one staying under that total of 5.5. That's coming in at plus 100. if the Leafs are to win this, that's the way this game has to go. If this game goes over that total, I think the Dallas Stars get the win. But you look at Jake Ottinger and you look at how strong Jake Ottinger has been, and I am not discounting a 4-1 win here for the Toronto Maple Leafs because of Ottinger's numbers. He has faced the Leafs 3 times in his career, yet to win a game. He's got a goals against average of 3.83, a save percentage below 900. It's 873, you guys. So I can't trust Jake Ottinger versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm going to look at the Leafs to win this at home. I think we're getting great value on them at minus 105. And maybe the books are trapping me here, giving me such a good price, but I can't go against this team here. At home, this team is sitting first in the Atlantic, 17-8 at home on the season. There is no way I'm going to step in front of them. Now, the biggest thing will be Wall. Wall needs that bounce back. On the season, 14-7. His record is with the 2.58 goals against average and a save percentage of 912. Yes, he had a really crappy game. Look for him to bounce back, and not like Sam Darnold was supposed to bounce back last night. God, you guys, that's still haunting me. I can't believe Sam Darnold. Anyway, back to hockey. We've got the Dallas Stars. They're off a loss on Sunday. They lost to the Senators 3-2. So if they lost to the Senators, they can definitely lose this one to the Leafs. The Leafs have lost their last 2 as well. They lost that last game to the Vancouver Canucks. And one thing about their loss to the Canucks versus Dallas's loss to the Sens, Toronto got shut out. You guys, Toronto off a shutout is a dangerous team. We know Mitch Marner should be coming out with so much fire. We've got so many playmakers on this team that will step up. Looking at Mitch Marner, though, 14 goals and 45 assists on the season. He will be the player that I've turned to. You've also got a Toronto team. They've won the last 7 meetings versus the Dallas Stars. I still don't understand these odds. Now, if you want someone here for Dallas, Jamie Benn has been great. He scored a goal in 4 of the last 6 games here for the Stars. So that is where I'd look. I don't like it. Yeah, I still like Columbus with Tarasov and not Elvis in net. I think Tarasov is solid. I do like that game to the over. Columbus will be able to keep up the pace with the Flyers. Remember, the Flyers are not a team that, even though we've seen the goals in a couple of their games, what they got that 6-0 shutout. They put up 4 last night on the Panthers. The Panthers checked out of that game. We know the Panthers were looking ahead to the New Jersey Devils. They've struggled in New Jersey. So even with Tarasov in net for Columbus, I do think Columbus will be able to step up and get those goals on the board. So that's that game. This game, give me Toronto. You could look at Toronto's team total to the over as well. If you're a little bit nervous thinking the Dallas Stars might win it in a tight game, then just look at Toronto's team total. I expect them to be able to score on Ottinger. I just don't think the Dallas Stars are going to have their way with Joseph Woll. Okay, let's move on to the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're taking on the Boston Bruins, another total of 5.5. As we turn this pivotal point in the season for hockey at the halfway point, you guys, we're going to see so much more 5.5s. Both all of these teams and the books looking for the defensive lockdowns, right? So you're going to start seeing those low scoring games. I know you guys hate it. We hate it for our player props. We hate it for those points, but it's the kind of hockey I absolutely love. It's one reason I love the LA Kings. They come out so strong defensively, hard hitting, brutal team out there on the ice. And I look at now that we're at this halfway season, I don't think I see a 6.5. Like, all of the lines today on FanDuel except for Vegas and the Predators and New York and Colorado, are 5.5. So 5.5 basically across the board. You can ult these numbers if you do believe that you're going to get higher scoring games that will result in 7 numbers. Do ult it over to 6.5 because you're going to have to lay a juice on a lot of these teams to the over 5.5 as people become accustomed to these 5.5s popping up. But looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Boston Bruins, the 5.5 is your total, minus 124 to the over. The Tampa Bay Lightning rolling into Boston at minus 140 favorites. The Bruins at plus 116. Bruins a great price at home, especially when this team has the rest advantage. They're off that Saturday overtime win versus the Florida Panthers on the road. That was a 4-3 win. Now they're at the Senators on Saturday, so they're just home for this one game. with what they did in that last game versus the Panthers, you look at Boston, though, over their last, 3, 4 games, they're averaging under 2 goals per game. So this team has been struggling. Their power play is weak as well. It's only converting around like 13%. And then they're allowing these goals to come in. They've allowed over 4 goals in their last 5 games. So this is a hard team, even at that price, to bet on at home. And we're looking at them off an overtime win. Not a good situation for the Boston Bruins. Off an overtime win at home. They've lost their last 4. So they haven't been strong and they haven't covered the puck line in the last 5 in this situation. So now you have the Tampa Bay Lightning rolling in here, who have an elite power play. That power play is clicking almost at 26%. They're off a win versus the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they are on the second night of a back-to-back. So this is a hard place for them. They don't have that rest advantage, but one thing I can count on is they're going to get those goals on Swayman. You look at Boston, you look at how many goals they've been giving up on average, and you can look at the Tampa Bay Lightning's team total. They got a team total of 3.5. It's plus 130 to the over. And I know we should see Boston locked down defensively, but they haven't proven it to me. And Swayman hasn't proven that he can really lock down either. So I'm willing to take the Tampa Bay Lightning over 3.5 goals. You could also, I think, take them straight up here on the puck line for a 2-goal win. Laying 1.5 on the puck line is coming in at plus 180. I do like my chances of being able to hit that. Now, they have won 4 of the last 5 meetings, but the caution here with that puck line and why I think the team total is probably the better way to go is the Lightning are 1-4 in the last 5 meetings in Boston. So while they've won 4 of the last 5 meetings over Boston, they've only won 1 of the last 5 in Boston. So definitely a hard place for this team to roll in and not have last change versus the Boston Bruins. So the last time these teams matched up was just on Thursday last week. So we saw the 4-1 win for the Tampa Bay Lightning at home. The Southern revenge factor is in play here for Boston as well. So something to consider in this one with the rest advantage for Boston since they've played. Boston has not had to play as many games as the Lightning have played as well. So the tired legs could come into effect. I'm just going to hit the team total for the Boston Bruins over 3.5 plus 130 to the over. Tampa over 5.5. Yeah, I do think this game should go over 5.5. I did not realize it was Connor McDavid's birthday. I saw late last night on the TV. So congratulations to everyone who hit that. Yeah, we got that money. Florida first period and Sam Reinhart. So I'm glad you guys cashed on the Sam Reinhart goal as well. Let's make some freaking money today, you guys. I appreciate all of you for being here. We're going to move on to the Anaheim Ducks. And again, if you don't have time to stick around, come back. We will do the recap at the end of the show. And with how many games this is today, the recap alone is going to be 10 minutes as I fly through all of these best bets. Let's move on to the Anaheim Ducks taking on the Washington Capitals. Okay, so the Ducks are rolling in here as a $2 underdog plus 222 means the Washington Capitals at home minus 280 favorite, but rightly so, right? You guys, you look at this team, you look at Ovechkin, you look at Strome, you look at these playmakers, and they are firing on all cylinders. Total out 5.5. They're strong at the blue line. They should be able to limit the Ducks, but can they limit them enough to keep this under the 5.5? I don't think so. I'm going to take the over 5.5. It's coming in at minus 128. Now, the puck line here, I think, for the Ducks is kind of interesting. I know the Washington Capitals are phenomenal. Ovi should get on the board today. I don't want to lay 1.5 with the Caps at minus 108, but I do think it's worth a shot here on the Anaheim Ducks plus 1.5 at minus 112. And I think this would be more of a live betting situation. The Washington Capitals have been very strong in the first period, and the Ducks haven't been. The Ducks have lost their last 5 first periods in Washington. So this is another live betting situation, you guys, that I'm going to be watching tonight. I want to see the Washington Capitals go up in that first period. Ultimately, I want to see them do what the Florida Panthers did last night, go up 2-0. I'm going to take the Capitals first period puck line, but then I'm going to come back in on the Anaheim Ducks plus 2.5. If we see the Washington Capitals go up 2-0, we will see the Ducks come back at plus 2.5 on that puck line. And that's where I want to keep it. I'm looking at this Ducks team. Troy Terry back in the lineup tonight. You know that confidence it gives this team. And I do think Troy Terry will come out with fire. I'm going to take him for the anytime goal. I just need him to hold off till the second period, and then he can start firing at will in this game. So first period, puck line, Washington Capitals coming back in on the Ducks. Live betting if I get +2.5. The Ducks are 2-5 in their last 7 in Washington. We know the struggles this team has had offensively. Are they quacking here, though? It is an interesting look because they're off the win versus the Carolina Hurricanes. They beat the Canes in OT 3-2. The Canes had the banner raising ceremony on that Saturday. And if you guys know anything from watching Scott Wetzel and myself live on the grid, Scott Wetzel has instilled in me over the last, 2 years working with him, banner raising ceremony, you fade the home team. So it was an amazing fade of the home team taking the Anaheim Ducks on Saturday with that banner raising for Eric Stahl. And it cashed, and it cashed in OT. When it went to overtime, I thought it was going to be dead in the water. But again, that banner raising worked in our favor. So looking at the Washington Capital team, 3 of the last 4 games have gone to overtime. Tired legs will prevail at some point in this game, especially against a Ducks team that they're going to probably overlook here. This team, though, how can you really step in front of them? It's a hard team to step in front of. That's why I probably will grab the +2.5. If we get a +1.5 at +180, yeah. Or +200, yeah, I'm going to take the +1.5. So just look for the value with those lines, you guys. If it's a 2.5 at -120, -130, there's no way I'm going to touch it. So just knowing me and how I bet, you guys always look for that plus money. I'm not willing to jump on something laying juice, especially on a puck line in that case where the Ducks could allow an empty netter when they're trying to get back in it and all of that kind of stuff. So be cautious with that. The Washington Capitals, phenomenal at home. 14-4-4 at home on the season. So give me Ovi to score. Give me Troy Terry to score. Alex Killorn has been strong as well. He's recorded at least 1 assist in 3 of the last 4 versus the Washington Capitals. So there's your trends to the players that really are able to get things done versus the Caps. It is Alex Killorn here for the Ducks. So Alex Killorn for a point, Troy Terry for a point, parlayed together. You guys know that story. That's going to give you great plus money. And then just give me Ovi and Strome. You want to look at Tom Wilson, look at Tom Wilson as well. I think you can play around with this one. Even though the Ducks have only won 1 of the last 5 meetings, in Washington, I think we see a couple goals tonight. Logan Thompson in net for Washington and Dostal in net for the Ducks. Okay, next game, you guys. We're going to talk about the San Jose Sharks taking on the Detroit Red Wings. And if you guys can hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on YouTube and over on X on SportsGrid. If you guys can drop in the comments what you're liking today, as well as hit that retweet button, I greatly appreciate it. Keeps us going here each and every single day on the grid. So let's look at the Red Wings. They're taking on the Sharks next. I'm just trying to find odds. Again, all odds are over on FanDuel, you guys. We got a total of 5.5 again in this one. The juice to the over at -130. We got the Sharks at -168 on the money line and 205 here for the Red Wings at home. The Red Wings have been rolling so freaking hot. Who doesn't love to see a team winning their last 7 in a row? They're off a big win versus the Kraken on a Sunday, 6-2 at home. And now they're taking on the Sharks team, backup goaltender in. They scored just 4 goals over their last 3 games. So they've been struggling to light the lamp. Celebrini and Tyler Toffoli and Will Smith, they need to start stepping up because this offense really has been non-existent. They've lost their last 3, you guys. Saturday was a loss at home to the Minnesota Wild. So they're looking to bounce back on their first game here out there on the road of 5 road games that they will face now. They're at the Columbus Blue Jackets on a Thursday. Now, looking at Detroit, they have a road trip loading, and this is a long road trip loading. They're at the Panthers on Thursday, the Tampa Bay Lightning on Saturday, the Stars on Sunday, and the Flyers on Tuesday. So look ahead situation to a road trip. But this team, with how hot they've been rolling, they're going to want to get another win before they head out on the road. They're sitting 7th in the Atlantic right now. I do think the Sharks, with their struggles in Detroit, they've only won 2 of the last 7 meetings in Detroit. Even though they won back in November 5-4, I will look at the over 5.5. This is one where I think you can alt it to over 6.5. Get that great plus money because the 5.5 we're laying -132. So over 6.5. Get the plus money on that. But I'm going to look at the Red Wings straight up on that puck line, you guys. The Red Wings on the puck line, -1.5 at +128. Now, if the Sharks somehow come out and put up a goal right away, I'm going to come back in on the Red Wings at I'm hoping, because they're a $2 favorite, I'm hoping they become a minus 120 favorite there. So I'm hoping that's what we can get. And then I'll come back in on the money line on the Red Wings, kind of hedge my bet with that puck line if the Sharks come out hot out of the gate. But I do expect the Red Wings to be able to get the win in this one. If you want to look at them in regulation, definitely another way that you can go. I think they should be able to lock down in that third period if they're up a goal and play strong defense. Dylan Larkin, I will look at for the anytime goal in this matchup as well. Okay. We are going to move on to the Seattle Kraken taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Seattle Kraken are a plus 114 dog here on the road and minus 137 here for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, this total sitting at 5.5. The 5.5 is juiced again to the over at minus 134. If you like the Penguins for a big win here at home, laying 1.5 on that puck line is coming in at plus 176. But I think what I'm going to do is just look at the first period. Get me in and get me out of this game. Give me the Pittsburgh Penguins on the puck line laying a half a goal at plus 180 in the first period over the Seattle Kraken. The Seattle Kraken, even though they provided us money in the last couple of weeks, they've had a couple of big wins. This team still is struggling to get those goals, struggling to light the lamp. Again, they're off the loss to the Red Wings 6-2 on a Sunday. So when we look at them in their last 10 games, they've scored 2 or less goals in 6 of those. So I can't have the confidence here that they will be able to stay competitive with the Pittsburgh Penguins. But with the Penguins and how Tristan Jarry and this defense kind of collapses, right, in that third period, I don't want to take the Pittsburgh Penguins full game puck line, even though I think they cover it. Like, I think the Penguins win this 5-2. Right. So we should be able to ult that puck line. I just don't want to get into that market. I will take the Pittsburgh Penguins first period puck line, laying the half a goal at plus 180. Now, if I think they're winning this 5-2, I would also look at them there for their team total to the over. Joey Decord, while he's had some good games, also this defense has allowed those goals to come in. We have seen Seattle also cover the puck line in their last 5 versus the Metro. So give me the over, give me the Pittsburgh Penguins first period puck line at plus 180, laying the half a goal, and then get me the heck out of this game. Yeah, we can absolutely do the top 5 players tonight in that recap, Mo. So make sure you hang around for that. Let's get some freaking money today. Let's cash, that's for sure. So we kicked off the show talking about the Florida Panthers and how if you tailed yesterday, we were able to get the Florida Panthers first period puck line and then come back on the Flyers for the win. Some of you made some great money. Sam Reinhart got those 2 goals. It was a fantastic way to look at that game because they were in a look-ahead situation to the New Jersey Devils today. Now they're coming in at plus 134 here on the money line, and that is so hard not to bite on the Florida Panthers at this price. Reigning Stanley Cup champions here, taking on a New Jersey Devils team that has had those inconsistencies. They're coming in at minus 162. Now, does that mean that I discount the New Jersey Devils and what they've done this season and where I think they're going to go? Absolutely not. I love the New Jersey Devils. I think this is a team that can fight their way for the Stanley Cup as well. So we've got an elite battle on our hands. And what happens when 2 teams like this match up? We see these games go under that total. I know how strong offensively both of these teams are. You got playmakers across the board. I'm looking for the defensive lockdown. The only way this goes over that total for me is if we have a 3-2 situation and someone scores the empty netter or someone pushes it to OT. Give me the under 5.5 at plus 104. I know it feels dangerous between these 2 teams, you guys, but I do think it's the best bet. Spencer Knight, though, is confirmed for the Florida Panthers. So they started Bobrovsky last night. Weird situation where they started Bobrovsky and not Spencer Knight and saved Bobrovsky for tonight. Still don't understand why they did that, but I guess they have more confidence in Spencer Knight taking on the New Jersey Devils tonight. Jacob Markstrom on the other side. Now, really strong kill here for the New Jersey Devils, and they are getting those shots on goal. They've got a great power play, and same thing here for the Florida Panthers. Both of these teams average right on that 30 shots on goal per game. They're also coming in with strong power play, strong kills, strong lockdowns. You look at the Devils only allowing 25.5 shots on goal per game, and the Florida Panthers right around that 27 mark. So we have the Devils off an overtime win on Saturday versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're able to hold the Tampa Bay Lightning to 2 goals in that game. So I'm looking for them to lock down defensively as well. This is their last game versus Tampa Bay Lightning, was their first game at home off of a long road trip. It didn't catch up to them in that game. I have a feeling it catches up to them in this game. I'm going to take the Florida Panthers straight up on the money line. Now, the Panthers have won the last 4 meetings in New Jersey. The road teams won the last 5 between these two teams. We have not seen home ice advantage between the two of them. We have seen the road ice advantage. But for the Florida Panthers, one stat that's just like screaming in my head is they've lost their last 8 on the road as an underdog on their second night of a back-to-back. The Florida Panthers, though, gave up in last night's game. They went up 2-0, and then, yes, they put up another goal, but defensively, we didn't see what we normally see out of them. They were looking ahead to this game. So I'm going to jump on the Florida Panthers with that great plus money. I love what they've been able to do versus the New Jersey Devils in New Jersey. And I'm going to look at this one to stay under 5.5. Now, because I'm looking at that, I would prefer to look at shots on goal versus points or goals tonight. But Sam Reinhart, there's no denying how hot he has been out there on the ice. 2 goals last night. He almost, it felt like he was going to get the hat trick, you guys. So looking at Sam Reinhart, you can take his shots on goal, 3+ shots on goal for him the last time versus the Devils. He was able to get those 3 shots. We look at him last night. He still had 3 shots on goal in the game before versus the Boston Bruins. 11 shots on goal. This is a player that digs freaking deep, you guys. Top line, top power play. When we're looking here at the New Jersey Devils, Dougie Hamilton, interesting one to look at. I almost want to take Dougie Hamilton for the point tonight. I think he's going to come out nice and strong. Him for 3+ shots on goal, I definitely think is in play as well. So you guys know it's been a good look if you've been looking at Dougie Hamilton as of late. Sam Bennett under a point. Yeah, I think Sam Bennett probably under a point is a strong way to go in this matchup tonight. I don't blame you. I would take Sam Reinhart for the point, or I would take Tkachuk for the point before I took Bennett. So I like that under a point. Let's move on to the Ottawa Senators. The Ottawa Senators are taking on the New York Islanders. This is the pick 'em, you guys. -110 either way of this line. We've got a total of 5.5. Now, -118 to the over 5.5, -104 to the under. This line has moved. So we did see the Senators as a slight dog coming into this show. So that was 30 minutes ago. The Senators were a slight dog on the road. Money definitely coming in for them. I do think people have overestimated the Islanders with what they've been able to do as of late going into this game. And now people are like, yeah, there's no way. It's the Senators, and they were getting value on the Sens. Now that it's a pick 'em, you're not getting that value, but I still think the Senators roll in and beat the Isles today. You look at the Isles, they've got a non-existent power play and a non-existent kill, right? Like, how can we back a team that if they end up in the penalty box, they're going to allow those goals to come in? And if they go out there and have that extra man advantage, they're not going to frickin' score. I can't trust them here. We also have backup goaltender in for the Ottawa Senators, who is coming off a shutout win. He has been playing fantastic in the Ottawa Senators. They have the 11th best power play in the league and 18th best kill. So I'm looking for the Senators to get things done. They've won their last 2. Sunday they got that home win versus the Dallas Stars. They're at the Capitals, or they're home versus the Capitals on Thursday. So this is just like this one-off road trip. The Isles here, yeah, they won their last 3. Yeah, they got that big win. That win over Vegas, I still can't believe it. I called the shutout, you guys. For Vegas and Aiden Hill, it was Sorokin who got the shutout. I still can't believe 4-0 win for the Isles. And then you look at them, they got the Saturday win versus Utah 2-1. And then they got the win in overtime versus the Boston Bruins. High scoring, I believe it was 5-4 last Saturday. So you're looking at a team that just has overplayed their last 3 games. All 3 of those were out on the road. So they are on their first game home off a road trip. You guys know that is a fade situation as well. For me, they're 7-9-2 at home. I can't bet this team. Give me the Senators, but I would look at this one to stay under if I had to lean on that total, which is a hard call because the total is only 5.5, -104 to the under. I think the Senators win this 4-5, or sorry, not 4-5, 4-1, putting us at 5 goals. 4-5 definitely would push us to the over. So give me the under. We've seen strong trends between these two teams to that under. 5 of the last 6 meetings in New York have gone under that total. So I will go with the under. If you're looking at tonight for player points for the Ottawa Senators, it's all about the power play. So Drake Batherson, Tim Struzal, Brady Tkachuk, and Josh Norris. I love Josh Norris for that power play point. So definitely a strong way to go with those power play points tonight, you guys. Let's move on to Vegas. Vegas is out there on the road. They are taking on the Nashville Predators. I got a feeling that the Predators are going to bite tonight and win this one. They're coming in at plus 100. It was minus 102. So money's starting to move on Vegas here. Vegas is too short of a price. It just screams take Vegas at minus 120. They're a strong road team. They're taking on a Predators team that we know has had those struggles all season. Better at home than out there on the road, that is for sure. But I just look at this and I go, man, why are they giving us so much value, even at minus 120 for the Vegas Golden Knights? Why aren't they a minus 180 favorite? Now, does Vegas know something? Maybe, but the home team has won 5 of the last 6 meetings, 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two. Strong trends to the underdog winning 9 of the last 12. Vegas, though, Samsonov in goal. Do I trust Samsonov? I keep looking at Samsonov and thinking of him last season with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hard to bet on Samsonov not to allow those goals to come in. Saros on the other side for the Predators. We know he allows those goals as well. They've lost their last 2. They're off that loss on Saturday to the Washington Capitals 4-1. And when we look at Vegas, they're off a win. Home win on Sunday. They got a home win versus Wild 4-1. So they came out versus a hot goaltender, were able to put up those goals, and now they face Saros. So I do think the over should be in play in this one. The question mark is Jack Eichel. Will Jack Eichel hit the ice? And without Jack Eichel on the ice, will we see that flow of the Vegas Golden Knights? He's listed day to day with illness, and we know Mark Stone's gone out of this lineup. Jack Eichel's gone out of this lineup, and this team has still found success. Looking at a player that I do think will have success tonight for Vegas, Noah Hanifin. Noah Hanifin has been strong versus the Predators in his career. He scored a goal in 3 of the last 4 against the Predators. So I would look at Noah Hanifin tonight, and then I'm going to take a shot on the Preds at home. Do I love it at plus 100? Absolutely not. Do I want to live bet this if Vegas goes up first? If the Predators can't come out strong out of the gate, this could be one that's just a write-off. So I'm going to take a shot on it. I don't blame you if you're not going anywhere with it. You think the Flyers are dropping this one and you're a Flyers fan? Yeah, I don't blame you for the Flyers to lose that game. I am with you on that. Over under saves for Spencer Knight, 24.5. 24.5 for Spencer Knight. I would take it. It's right on the number. Looking at the Florida Panthers, they know Spencer Knight is their weak link out there. The Florida Panthers allow right around 27 shots on goal per game. We have a New Jersey Devils team that is allowing close to 30. It's like 29.8 shots on goal, or they're getting 29.8 shots on goal per game, if I can think and say it properly. So they're getting these shots, but Florida will absolutely have to lock down and give the support to Spencer Knight. If I had to take it either way, Nelson, I would take it to the under. I would look at it to go under, even though I think Florida still can get the win. The defense absolutely has to lock down in front of Spencer Knight tonight because the New Jersey Devils will be bringing it. And Spencer Knight isn't the strongest of goaltenders between Bobrovsky and him. So I would look for the under 24.5 save shots on goal, because I expect the New Jersey Devils to hit right on 24, and then we're going to see a couple go in. The Calgary Flames versus the St. Louis Blues. So we have the Calgary Flames rolling in at plus 140, the St. Louis Blues at minus 170. Total of a 5.5 between these two teams. Now, I know it's scary to take it under 5.5, but we're getting plus money at plus 106. These teams play again on Thursday versus each other, and this is not a road and home situation for the Flames. They are away and away, so they're going to stay out here on the road taking on St. Louis again. So St. Louis, 2 home stances here versus Calgary. They're rolling in at minus 172. The juice keeps ticking up, and at this price, I cannot bite on the St. Louis Blues, but I do think they get the win. So if you want to look at them here in reg, I don't blame you for looking at them in regulation. You're getting them in regulation at plus 110. Calgary should be starting Dan Vladar from what I am seeing in net tonight. And I do think the St. Louis Blues with Binghamton should be able to come out strong and get the win. This is a 3-2 game. I love the under at plus 106. I do think we've got a lower scoring one in this one. Calgary's on the second night of a back-to-back. They're able to put up 5 goals last night, but versus the Chicago Blackhawks. And we knew that game was going to trend to that over. So I'm loving this one. Lower scoring game. We also have the St. Louis Blues off a loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets 2-1 on Saturday. So they're going to want to lock down on that defensive side. We know this team can do so. Now, if anyone's scoring for St. Louis, you guys know Jake Neighbors, his in front of the net puck presence is so amazing, and he's able to get those goals. I would look at him. You could also look at Robert Thomas to come out nice and strong. So it should be a good game between these two teams. We got 3 more games to go over, you guys. We're going to jump into the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Winnipeg Jets. This should be quite the game out there. Now, this is the first game where we're really getting so much juice that we got to pay to the under 5.5 plus 110 over 5.5, under 5.5 minus 134. You guys, I think you're going to ult this to under 4.5. I think this is a 2-1 win for one of these teams. So if you want to play those alt numbers, get that great plus money, I do think you go there with this total. Now, looking at the Winnipeg Jets, big favorite at home for such a low scoring game at minus 154, plus 128 here for the Vancouver Canucks. Puck line for the Winnipeg Jets, minus 1.5 at plus 172. And then for the Vancouver Canucks, plus 1.5 at minus 215. 3-2 win, 2-1 win. This is a 1-goal game, you guys. I can't jump on that puck line. Well, Vancouver has no value on the puck line. So if Winnipeg goes up first, they've won 5 of the last 6 meetings. I think they get the win tonight. You could come back in on Vancouver plus 1.5. Both of these teams are coming off really interesting situations, with both coming off wins that they were able to get in a shutout. So we saw the Vancouver Canucks shut out the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday 3-0. And we saw the Winnipeg Jets shut out the Colorado Avalanche on Saturday 3-0. That defense is going to come in, and it's going to come in hard. Demko versus Hellebuck. Ult it to under 4.5, you guys. I really do think. I can't see this one going over that total. Neither can the books, making the juice to the under. You know, the public sports bettors, no one loves to really bet unders, right? You got to look for your chances. Mark Scheifele has been strong, though, for the Jets in his last 2 games. Kyle Connor, we know the playmakers are there, but I'm expecting Demko and Vancouver, with their ability defensively, Quinn Hughes in the lineup, that they should be able to lock down out here on the road. This is their strong suit, road games. The Jets, so strong, though, at home as well. Yeah, lots of under trends this year, that is for sure. Yeah, Winnipeg should be able to win this at home here in this game. So give me Winnipeg, but I can't lay the juice. Give me the under. Give me the under 4.5. That's where we're going to get that plus money. Let's look at a game that probably won't stay under that total. The Montreal Canadiens, they are taking on the Utah Hockey Club. This one is at 5.5, minus 138 to the over. Utah is the favorite at home at minus 152. Why? Utah hasn't been a great home team. Yes, Montreal has had their struggles, but we look at this Montreal team and those wins they have been able to pull off, and it's been fantastic. Give me the Montreal Canadiens with Sam Montembeault in net tonight with that plus 126 money. I'm expecting Cole Caulfield to come out nice and strong. Look at him for the power play point tonight. Look at Nick Suzuki, Patrick Laine. I think they all come out nice and strong in this one. Now, if you're looking at someone for Utah, because I am liking this to the over 5.5. Over 5.5 is juiced at minus 132. I do think this is one you can ult to over 6.5 as well. 4-3 style game here for Montreal to get the win. I know Utah hasn't scored a lot of goals, but against Sam Montembeault and the defense here of the Montreal Canadiens, we can see it coming in. Nick Schmaltz has scored a goal in 3 of the last 4 home games for Utah, so definitely someone to look at. So Montreal It's simple for me. Like as soon as I looked at this line, there wasn't even any thinking. Montreal at plus 126. Call Caulfield for the anytime goal. Call Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, and Patrick Laine all for a point tonight. Parlay together gets you great plus money. And then the over 5.5, ultra to over 6.5. Let's talk about another game that's going to be the last game of the night, 9 o'clock Eastern. So 9 o'clock Eastern, it's weird we don't have a 10 o'clock with so many games on the board. Total 6.5 between the New York Rangers and the Colorado Avalanche. They're expecting the Rangers to be able to get some goals. Can we see it tonight, though? I don't know, you guys. I don't know how much faith I have in this Rangers team. Yes, they've won their last two, but that don't impress me much, right? Like with what this Rangers team has been doing this season. Now, yes, Igor is back in goal. But if Igor's in goal and Igor is firing, then this should stay under the total of 6.5 because we know Igor, for the Rangers to win, they cannot get into pond hockey here with the Colorado Avalanche. And the Colorado Avalanche coming off a game in which they were shut out. That offense just wasn't clicking. They came against a strong goaltender. So this total of 6.5 at minus 122 to the under, it makes more sense than taking this to the over, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just completely ignore the full game. Like, ignore. Igor versus Mackenzie Blackwood. I love Mackenzie Blackwood. He has been outstanding this season. Colorado with Blackwood in net is complete fire. Now, they're off the shutout loss to the Jets on the road on Saturday, 3-0. First game home off a road trip. It's not a strong suit. First game home off a road trip, but you got to play your teams in the situations off a road trip versus like with how they did as well. So that road trip, they went 1-2, not what they expected out there. I do think this first period, they come out and dominate the first period. Now, Vegas lost to the Rangers. So the Rangers got that 2-1 win on Saturday. They're at Utah on Thursday here for the Rangers. I just don't trust this team as far as I could throw them. So FanDuel currently has me locked in this one. I haven't been able to get in on it all morning. Colorado's minus 172 on the money line, plus 142 for the Rangers. I'm going to look at the Colorado Avalanche first period puck line. We saw the Florida Panthers off that overtime loss to the Boston Bruins dominate the first period yesterday and then lose the game. Could that happen here for Colorado? Absolutely. With how the Rangers have looked in their last couple, of Igor is firing in goal, then we could see that. But I expect Colorado first period with Mackenzie Blackwood in net for Colorado to come out and score quick on Igor Shesterkin and win that first period. Now, can they get two? Maybe not. Maybe it's just a 1-goal first period for the Colorado Avalanche, but I'm willing to take them there, then take both teams to score. So puck line first period, laying a half a goal. With them being a minus 172 favorite, the puck line in the first period, you should be getting that at least at plus 150. If you're getting it below plus 150, stay off of it. Now, could this game go to overtime? I got a feeling this game probably goes to overtime between these two teams. And I think that is why that 6.5 is juiced to the under, because I think this is going to be a 2-2 game going to overtime. I don't see a lot of goals out there. I think we do see Igor strong in this one, but at the end of the day, Colorado walk away with it. I just want to look at Colorado in that first period. That's the only place I'm going. But you guys, 43 minutes in, we are ready to do the recap. It should be a great day out there on the ice. If Colorado's scoring today, and I do think they are, look at the power play points for the Colorado Avalanche today. I do think it will be a strong suit. Sorry, my dog's under my desk. I don't know what he's doing. Will be a strong suit for them on that power play versus the Rangers. So let's jump into it. We're going to kick it off with the Philadelphia Flyers versus Columbus Blue Jackets. Do me a favor. I'm going to have a sip of water. Everyone hit that like button, hit that retweet button, hit that subscribe button over on YouTube. Let's make some freaking money today, you guys. I'm super excited for today's slate. Okay, you guys ready? 43-43. That's got to be good luck, all right? That's where we're kicking off this recap. The Philadelphia Flyers taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. I heard you Flyers fans out there doubting your team in this game, and I don't blame you. Columbus is so strong at home, and that is where I'm going to go in this one. If you just want to look at Columbus in the first period, they've been able to win the first period in the last 4 versus the Metro. Both teams could score in this one in the first period with the Flyers rolling in with some confidence in their last game. But I think at the end of the day, the Columbus Blue Jackets walk away with the win in this game, and we go over that total of 6.5. The Dallas Stars taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Short price on the Leafs at home. Feels like the books are begging me to take the Leafs, but I'm going to bite. I don't trust Jake Ottinger versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's lost all 3 meetings in his career versus the Leafs. His goals against average is a 3.82 versus them and save percentage at 873. Not where I want to put my money, even though the Dallas Stars are a strong team. Give me the Leafs here at home. You could look at their team total over 2.5 as well. They've won the last 7 meetings versus the Stars. So I'm all in on the Leafs. Give me Mitch Marner for the point tonight. Jamie Benn on the other side if you want to look at someone for the Stars. The Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Boston Bruins. Give me the Tampa Bay Lightning's team total over 3.5. That's coming in great plus money at plus 130. Swayman hasn't been strong between the pipes. We know this. And the Boston Bruins in their last 5 games have allowed over 4 goals per game on average. I just don't trust them to limit the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are strong offensively. Now, Tampa has won 4 of the last 5 meetings, but have struggled in Boston. And that's kind of why I'm going to shy away from the puck line here, because they're only 1-4 in the last 5 meetings in Boston. When we look at the Anaheim Ducks versus the Washington Capitals, the Capitals first period puck line. Get me in, get me out. I'm expecting them to come out nice and strong, cover that puck line. It's plus 180, laying a half goal in the first period. I do think the Ducks could be quacking in this situation, you guys. I just got a weird gut feeling. The Ducks I want to take when they go down. I'm hoping the Washington Capitals go up 2-0, and we can come back in on the Ducks plus 2.5 at plus 120. If not, if we're getting a plus 1.5 at plus 180, I will be biting on the Ducks at that point. This is a team that did beat the Carolina Hurricanes on a Sunday, and Troy Terry back in this lineup. Troy Terry pivotal for this lineup. I'm going to look at Troy Terry for the point. And on the other side, we got to look at Ovi chasing Wayne Gretzky's records for the point tonight. When we look at the San Jose Sharks versus the Detroit Red Wings, I'm not stepping in front of the Wings. They have won their last 7 games, and I think they get a big win here versus the San Jose Sharks. Give me the Red Wings puck line laying a 1.5 at plus 128. I expect this game to go over that total. The Seattle Kraken versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins, get me in, get me out again. First period puck line here, laying a half a goal at plus 180. I do think the Penguins come out nice and strong to start this game versus the Seattle Kraken. We know the Seattle Kraken never stop fighting in these games, so I'm not willing to take the full game puck line here for the Penguins with what we see out of defense and Jari, but they need to get this win before they head out on the road. They've got a 7-game road trip loading here for the Penguins, so if some way we see the Kraken go up first in that first period, I'm hoping the Pens come back and get 2 goals on them after, but I will be jumping in on the Penguins on the money line if that happens. So lots of live betting situations to look at in these games. I do think this one goes over that total of 5.5, coming in at minus 132. The Florida Panthers taking on the New Jersey Devils. Florida, on the second night of a back-to-back, hasn't been their strength, but they gave up in last night's game. They're going to give the support to Spencer Knight. This game will go under, I'm believing this game will go under that total of 5.5. I'm looking for these goaltenders and these defenses to really step up. I do think the Florida Panthers have every ability to get this win with how they quit on that game last night. Give me them plus 136. And yeah, I think they get the win here versus the Devils. Players I'd look at for those shots on goal, because I'm liking this one to the under. Sam Reinhart for the Panthers, over 2.5 shots on goal, 3+ shots on goal, it says on some books. And then Dougie Hamilton, over 2.5 for 3+ shots on goal is a strong way to go. I kind of like Dougie Hamilton for the point tonight as well. So still debating if I will put that in. The Ottawa Senators versus the New York Islanders. I'm not biting on the Isles. They're home off a 3-game road trip. Yes, they got some impressive wins out there, but I do think the Ottawa Senators are the better team, better power play, better kill. You're looking at the worst team in the league for their power play and their kill here. With the Isles, I'm not laying juice. Now, you had to lay a bit of juice before. It's a straight pick 'em at minus 110 now as money rolls in here for the Sens. The Sens are the way to go in this matchup. Also, remember the Isles, like 7-9-2 at home this season. I cannot back them here. I do think this game probably stays to that under with the Ottawa Senators coming out nice and strong on defense, but winning this 4-1. So the Vegas Golden Knights and the Nashville Predators. Got feeling the Preds get it done, you guys. I would love to get more value on the Preds at -102. We're not getting the best value for our team at home that, they're sitting 8-3 at home versus a Vegas Golden Knights team who did get a nice big win versus the Wild at home in their last game on Sunday. They don't play again, though, till Friday versus the Carolina Hurricanes. They will be on the road for that game. The Carolina Hurricanes on the Friday and the Chicago Blackhawks on the Saturday. So they have a back-to-back look-ahead situation in Jack Eichel. Day-to-day with an illness, I think they just check out of this game. So the underdog has had the upper hand, the underdog winning 9 of the last 12 and the home team winning 5 of the last 7. Give me a shot here on the Predators on the money line. Again, I wish we were getting more value. Calgary Flames versus St. Louis Blues. I think the Blues win this 3-2. That being said, it's -170 something here for the St. Louis Blues, so I can't take them straight up on the money line. You can look at them in regulation. I don't think we go to overtime. I like this one to stay under the total of 5.5. You're getting that at +106, you guys. The Vancouver Canucks versus the Winnipeg Jets. This game is going to be fantastic if you love defensive hockey. If this turns into pond hockey, I'm going to be so disappointed. This will be a game that I will turn off if it turns into pond hockey because I just don't see it happening that way. I'm excited to see that lockdown defensively. Demko versus Connor Hellebuck. This has playoff style hockey written all over it. Under 5.5, it's the only line today with the under juiced. I'm going to ult it to under 4.5, get that fantastic plus money. Think the Winnipeg Jets win this 2-1. So this should be a great game between these two. I'm not going to, of course, look at any player props because of a low scoring game. The Montreal Canadiens versus the Utah Hockey Club. I think the books have this wrong. Utah as a home favorite, there is no way I'm touching. I know there's playmakers here like Clayton Keller, but I look at the other side for Montreal, young, scrappy team who never says die in any of these games. And I'm willing to bite at +126 here for them on the money line. I'll look at Cole Caulfield for the anytime goal. Nick Suzuki, Patrick Laine for those points as well. Nick Schmaltz here on the other side, definitely someone you can look at for Utah as well as Clayton Keller. Last game of the night, the New York Rangers taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Give me the Avs first period puck line, laying a half a goal. You're going to get great plus money with that. Again, I'm locked out of this line, but I do think Colorado comes out, wins this first period 1-0. 2-0 could happen, but I don't know. I have a feeling Igor is going to stand on his head. I have a feeling this one is a low-scoring battle because the New York Rangers know they have to come out strong defensively, and Igor has to come out between the pipes. This is a game that has a total of 6.5, which is shocking between these two. The juice so to the under 6.5. I expect it 2-2 at most going into overtime. So if you want to put that overtime bet in, I do think the Rangers push the Colorado Avalanche to an overtime game. Both of these teams coming off strong wins. So we had the Rangers off the win versus Vegas, and we had Colorado off the loss. So they got shut out in their last game by the Jets 3-0. So I'm looking for that big bounce back out of them in this one. You guys, that is the recap. It took us just under 10 minutes. I told you the recap takes forever when we have this many games to go over. So you guys wanted those top player props. Again, things are locked out for a lot of these games for me. I will try to get the odds posted after. So I will try on another book and see what we get. But when we're looking at my top players today, we'll start with Montreal versus Utah. I'm going to look at Cole Caulfield. You guys, I love Cole Caulfield to come out. He's even able to get those shorties. So I would look at him here in this matchup. I'm going to stay off the Avs game. I'm also going to stay off Calgary and St. Louis because I think a lower scoring. I'm going to stay off Vegas and Nashville. I just don't trust that one as well for those players. When we look at the Ottawa Senators versus the New York Islanders, I'm going to look at Drake Batherson for the Senators here. I think he comes out nice and strong tonight. So that's the Sens, Montreal. And then for Florida and New Jersey, that's going to be a lower scoring game. If you just want to take shots on goal, Sam Reinhart and Dougie Hamilton is where I'd go with that one. The Pittsburgh Penguins, we got to look at Sid for the Penguins tonight. I do think he can get a point on the board. Gonna stay off Seattle. I don't trust them in this game. When we look at the San Jose Sharks versus the Red Wings, I am going to look at Larkin here for the Red Wings. He's been rolling too hot for me to deny out there on the ice. The Ducks versus Washington, we got to put OV in, you know that. And then for the Ducks, we have to put Troy Terry. There's no way I'm not including Troy Terry in anything tonight. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, Boston Bruins, look at those power play points for like Brandon Point. And otherwise, I don't want to put it in here. Those power play points, you're going to get the most value because if you're looking at just the point, you're going to have to lay too much juice. So let's stay off the rest of the games. Let's just look at these 5, you guys. We're going to take Cole Caulfield for the Montreal Canadiens for a point. Drake Matheson for the Ottawa Senators for a point. Sidney Crosby for the Pittsburgh Penguins for a point. Dylan Larkin for the Red Wings for a point. Ovechkin for the Capitals for a point. And Troy Terry for the Ducks for a point. Parlaying those 5 guys together should give you great plus money on the day. You guys, let's go. Let's make this freaking money. I appreciate you guys so much for being here each and every single day. You make this show possible. Without you guys, I'd just be sitting here talking to myself, which would be no fun. So thank you so much for being here tonight or today. It is not even 11 o'clock my time. So no, I don't play any DFS. So I wish I had time to play DFS. It would be a lot of fun. That is for sure. And I love you guys as well. What time does this show start? See, I cannot ever be teleprompted, you guys. Me reading and talking at the same time does not work very well. Noon Eastern every single day here live on the grid, you guys. I appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. Again, I will post those times for those recaps. It was like 43 minute mark today for that recap. So that will be posted for anyone looking to jump ahead, not being able to hang out for the whole hour. It is a long time to hang out here. So see you tomorrow. Lighter slate tomorrow out there on the ice, you guys. Ovechkin 100%. Rangers 7 in a row. Okay, let's go, you guys. Let's make some freaking money. I'll talk to you tomorrow, noon Eastern, here on SportsGrid TV on X. Hit that like, hit that retweet button. We'll see you tomorrow. Hit some anytime goal scorers as well as save shots on goal for some of these goalies.